The letter comes on the same day that you covered.
Yeah, within hours of us covering the Loudoun story, the Loudoun County story, for people who don't know, a young man. And I was very clear to not even say transgender because the reports at this time were saying a young bisexual boy in a skirt. Okay, so I had to say that. Had raped a young girl, and the school board effectively did nothing, and it was verified through a rape kit, and that young boy, bisexual boy in a skirt, raped again. So we covered this, and of course, parents were outraged. So we covered it. That's when we got this letter saying, you are not allowed to indicate, this is a quote, indicating that transgender individuals pose a rape threat to women. Here's what's so concerning. Sure, we covered specific instances. And I understand the difference between covering specific instances and attacking the actions of a specific person. You know, like rape. I don't know, call me, that's me, Mr. Old-Fashioned. I think rape is evil, regardless of whether the guy is wearing a skirt when doing it. I'm not afraid to take a risk here, Megyn, and say that I'm anti-rape. But what I do think is a problem is you do need to be able to make a broad generalization to express concern. There were over 100 parents lined up at that municipal meeting in Loudoun County, and they were going to express their concern over this new intergender bathroom policy. Why? Well, because we're concerned as parents that it could pose a rape threat to our daughters. Banned. That's the issue right now with these companies under 230 being protected as a digital town square. In the real town square, you can say things that are impermissible on all of Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. And that is very, very frightening. Mm-hmm. This is, I would argue, it's not a coincidence that this happened after the Loudoun story, only hours after. And I would argue that it's not a coincidence that this language was designed to be interpreted so broadly that it could, in fact, remove anyone who discusses that story.
Your story and the story of the Loudoun County dad are running parallel in a way, because the Loudoun County dad was publicly humiliated in the public square. He was fat shamed. He was mocked by the mainstream media. Like, look at this rube showing up at a school board meeting. He's such a moron, protesting. And then it comes out, thanks to the Daily Wire's reporting, that the guy was there. He was upset at the superintendent, who's now been totally humiliated, by the way. And there are calls for him to resign. He hasn't, but he's apologizing. He's publicly apologizing because he was in the wrong, the superintendent, because the superintendent at that meeting was telling people that there hadn't been a sexual assault in the bathrooms, and it wasn't true. It had just happened, and he knew that it wasn't true. Now he's saying, oh, well, I thought it was like specific to just trans kids. Okay. A bisexual kid wearing a skirt goes into the girl's bathroom and rapes a girl. The parents aren't splitting hairs about whether the kid's actually trans. They want to know whether the bathrooms are safe and the girls are safe. That's what they're not looking for, some legalized, parsed word. Well, technically, and he knew it. So he lied. Yeah. The dad was mad. An activist got in his face and called his daughter a bitch, a 9th grade rape victim. She called her a bitch, and the dad got mad. That's what we're seeing in that video. You go out there to try to talk about the Loudoun incident, and you go out there, and we can talk about the particulars of the prison situation, but it is absolutely a problem right now that trans women just have to say, biological men just have to say they're trans women, and they can be transferred right into an all-women's prison, and female prisoners have repeatedly expressed their concern over their safety.
Yeah, I mean, look, I remember being dragged by my ear down to the dean's office because I didn't have the right hall pass, okay? If I knew that I had a get-out-of-jail-free card wandering my high school halls by tossing on a skirt and saying, you want to lift it up and check the genitalia? I think I have a right to be in the ladies' restroom. The point is, this policy is so absurd that the boy who claims to be bisexual and wearing a skirt, no one called him on it anyway. Like, hey, son, you wouldn't happen to be one of those transgenders, are you? You can't ask questions. I'm wearing a skirt. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. You're free to rape. We're that far on down the trail. And look, this is, we talked about how Me Too. And of course, look, people like Weinstein, of course, okay, I understand these people shouldn't see the light of day again. I'm also surprised that former President Bill Clinton hasn't been made the poster boy for sexual assault, but I digress. We used to say, well, we were silencing women, right, at the power of white men. Now we're silencing rape victims at the cost of the feelings of transgender individuals. This is not an isolated incident, and I'm certainly not, let me be really clear, I've never said that all transgenders are rapists. I've never implied that all transgenders are rapists because I don't believe that all transgenders are rapists. Despite what YouTube want people to believe, simply saying that a law like this, and certainly policies that are this murky, allow predators to take advantage in what are meant to be women-only spaces. But when you say, they are women-only spaces. Well, I meant women-only spaces. What do you mean by women-only spaces? Well, I meant no penises. I meant no penis spaces.
Well, so here's the thing. Two points on this. We looked it up to find out, because most of the reporting links back to this WOLF. It's WOLF, which is an acronym, stands for Women's Liberation Front. It's a feminist organization that's been reporting on this. And so far as we can tell, they claim that a female inmate in a California women's prison became pregnant after biological males, trans women, were housed in the prison. We have not been able to confirm that. Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro's organization, they did some work trying to confirm that as well. And the California Bureau of Prisons is denying it, saying we do have some pregnant women in our prisons, but they were pregnant when they got here. They were not impregnated by trans prisoners who'd been transferred from the men's prison. But Wolf, this organization, is standing by its reporting, saying we're in contact with women in these prisons and our information often comes out before yours does. So I don't know what the truth is, but there certainly has been this reporting out there. And it is indisputable that the California prisons are allowing biological males in, thanks to a law pushed by Assemblyman Scott Wiener. And now there are...
Well, hold on a second. Have you guys... This is important. Do you know who Scott Wiener is? Do you know what his most famous piece of legislation was before this? Non-disclosure laws. If you have AIDS or HIV, I know some people right here in your show right now are listening, like, I don't even have a chip for that. That sounds like a kind of law where you could infect someone with your viral load of HIV or AIDS without their knowledge. Yes, that's exactly what it is. They thought that requiring people who have HIV/AIDS to disclose that they have HIV/AIDS in sexual encounters with strangers would be stigmatizing to those who may have HIV/AIDS and infect strangers. So Scott Wiener, he really made this his raison d'etre between leather chokers at the Folsom Street Fair. And I don't just say that as a broad generalization. To be clear, you can find the pictures. So this guy really has his priorities straight. Well, people have to step over pools of human excrement like Frogger in the state of California right now, that he's decided this is his new law. But sorry, continue.
I love it when you use your French. He's from Canada. His mother's French Canadian. I love it when you use your French and it sounds legit. Okay, so the numbers are, let's see, I don't know, it's something like 300 people have identified themselves as trans so far. Let me see, 20 of the requests have been processed so far, but none have been denied, including those, according to the National Review, requested by male sex offenders. Now, I actually dug deep on that too. I clicked on the link in National Review. Where are they getting that? That, previously male sex offenders now say that they're trans and they want to go to the women's prisons. The National Review link takes you to a Santa Monica Observer article and a report directly from a female inmate named Amber S. Jackson, claiming that HIV positive trans female sex offenders are in prison now having sex with female inmates. She's posted repeatedly over there. I don't know whether this is the source. Look, none of this actually needs to be confirmed because we do have, and you posted this, several actual confirmed cases in the past of trans individuals hurting other people via yes. sexual assault or rape. That it's not to say that all trans individuals do this, as you already pointed out. It's just to point out that it is a problem. It has happened, and people are not completely off their rocker to be concerned about trans women being put in women's prisons.